They thought I'd disappear quietly, that I'd bury my name beneath a white dress that never got worn. They toasted their future, while I mourned mine in silence. They rewrote my story before I had a chance to finish the sentence. But here's the truth. It wasn't failure. It wasn't weakness. It was just something bigger still becoming. The heartbreak didn't destroy me. It uncovered me. I didn't walk into the party to prove anything. I didn't plan to confront anyone. I simply walked in, and the silence that followed spoke louder than anything I could have said. My name is Ava Reynolds. I'm 29 years old. I live in Austin, Texas. And this is the part of my story they never expected to hear. Growing up, I was always the reliable one. The girl with a plan. Everyone said I'd be a speech pathologist by 25, married by 28, a mother by 30. A clean, respectable path with milestones like pearls on a string. And for a while, I followed it. I graduated top of my class, got a job at a respected clinic, got engaged to Daniel, my college sweetheart. He was charming, ambitious, adored by my family. It all looked perfect, from the outside. But no one knew how tired I was. How I would come home and sit in the dark because turning on the lights felt like too much effort. How the work, the expectations, the rightness of it all started to feel like a cage. Then one day, everything cracked open. Emily, my best friend since 6th grade, stopped returning my calls. She didn't come to dress fittings. She ghosted me. 2 weeks before the wedding, Daniel sat me down. He didn't look sorry, just relieved. I didn't mean for it to happen, he said. It just did. Emily and Daniel were together. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was quiet, surgical, precise enough to cut through every memory we'd built. My parents were speechless. My mother told everyone, she's just taking time to rest. My father wouldn't even say her name anymore. We don't talk about that. No one asked how I was. No one stayed when I stopped smiling. I started over. But no one noticed. After the wedding was called off, I moved into a small studio apartment on the east side of Austin. No furniture, just a mattress, a lamp, and a secondhand coffee maker that hissed louder than it brewed. I didn't have a plan anymore. The girl who had color-coded planners was now standing in line for takeout soup in her pajamas. But one day, I saw a flyer at the library. Seeking volunteers. Teach basic tech skills to seniors. No experience needed. I tore it off the board and stuffed it in my bag without thinking. A week later, I found myself in a rec room full of people with soft eyes and silver hair. I didn't feel like I belonged anywhere else, but oddly, I felt safe there. My first student was Mrs. Langston, 84. Fiery. Suspicious of smartphones. She jabbed at the screen like it owed her money. "This machine hates me," she muttered. "It doesn't hate you," I said gently. "It just needs someone patient." We met twice a week. Slowly, she learned how to send voice messages to her son in New Mexico. The first time she heard his voice back, she cried. "You brought my baby into my living room," she whispered. The others came, too. Veterans, grandmothers, widowers. Some hadn't spoken to their families in years. But week after week, I saw screens light up, and so did they. It felt small, quiet, unimportant to most. But to them, and slowly to me, it meant something. I wasn't fixing my past. I was building a future I hadn't expected. It didn't make headlines, but it mattered. Within a year, what started as a quiet volunteer gig grew into something real. I called it Silverlink, a simple program where seniors could learn digital basics, video calls, email, online prescriptions. I built a free website on a weekend, recorded tutorial videos using my phone, and offered virtual sessions during the pandemic. What I didn't expect: the flood of signups. Within 6 months, we were onboarding over 1,200 seniors a month, from retirement homes to rural towns. I recruited volunteers, partnered with libraries, and even started a weekly newsletter with tips. The open rate? 78%. Higher than some Fortune 500 companies. We added features. One-click calling apps. Voice-to-text training. A memory lane digital photo album project that reconnected families. I even secured a small grant from a tech company after they saw our impact stats. I should have been proud. And I was. But when I shared the updates with my family, silence. At dinner one night, I showed them our press feature in a local magazine. My father didn't even look up from his plate. Teaching old folks to click buttons, he said. Real noble work. My mother offered a faint smile. She's always been the free spirit. They didn't say it directly, but I could hear it in the pauses. You were supposed to be married by now. You were supposed to have a title, a home, a ring. Even Daniel's name came up sometimes, usually in whispers. He and Emily are doing so well, my aunt mentioned at a family brunch. They bought a house near Barton Creek. 2 stories. I swallowed my ache with iced tea. No one saw the lives I was changing. No one saw the joy in the faces of people reconnecting with grandkids they hadn't seen in years. They saw a woman who had lost her way. A girl who had been left. But here's the thing. You can grow an entire garden behind a wall, and the world won't smell the flowers. Until the wind decides to shift. So I kept building. Quietly. Without applause. Without recognition. Until one day, at a party I almost didn't attend, the wind shifted. I almost didn't go to the party. It was a fundraiser hosted by a mutual friend, someone who hadn't taken sides after the breakup. She sent a soft text. No pressure, Ava. But it would be good to see you. You deserve to be in rooms like this. I hesitated for days. But something in me, maybe curiosity, maybe quiet courage, said yes. I wore a simple black jumpsuit. Hair up. Minimal makeup. No desire to make a statement, just to show up. As I walked in, conversations dipped for just a second. People noticed. Whispers traveled faster than the music. In the corner of the room stood Daniel. And next to him, laughing, radiant, self-assured, was Emily. She saw me. Blinked once. He turned. Stiffened. I smiled. Not to them. To myself. Because for the first time in years, I wasn't the one watching from the shadows. I drifted through the room, catching up with old friends, sipping sparkling water, listening more than I spoke. Then, just as I was about to leave, someone tapped my shoulder. A woman in her early 30s. Confident. Warm eyes. Sorry, are you Ava? I nodded, surprised. I've been hoping to meet you. I work with community development in Houston. We've been replicating your program, Silverlink, right? My heart paused. No one had recognized me in public before. Ever. Yes. That's me, I replied, careful, almost guarded. Her face lit up. My fiancé's grandfather hadn't spoken to the family in over a year. Your program helped him reconnect. He sent a video message on Thanksgiving. There wasn't a dry eye in the room. I felt a lump form in my throat. He passed last month, she continued. But before he did, he said something that stuck with me. That girl, I never met her, but she made me feel seen again. He was talking about you. I didn't know what to say. Then she added, my fiancé's here tonight. He's the host's cousin, actually. I think you may know him, Daniel. The room spun. Not in panic, but in poetry. I turned slightly, just in time to see Daniel's expression falter as she gestured toward me. Wait, that's her, he said. She nodded. Yeah, that's Ava. She's the one behind Silverlink. And in that moment, the silence exploded louder than applause. He looked at me like he was seeing something for the first time. Like he didn't have the words for what I'd become. Emily stood still, confusion painted across her face. But I didn't gloat. I didn't cry. I just held the gaze, took a slow sip from my glass, and offered the faintest, softest smile. Because the truth had walked in by itself. And it refused to stay quiet. Not because I demanded attention, but because my story arrived, fully formed, and took its rightful place in the room. After that night, I didn't hear from Daniel. No apology. No explanation. But I didn't need one. Something shifted in me, quietly, like the changing of a season. A week later, I received a card in the mail from my mom. No long letter, just a few words in her soft, slanted handwriting. I read your interview. I'm proud of you, Ava. I just didn't know how to say it. I kept it tucked inside my notebook. Didn't frame it.
Didn't post about it.
I just kept it. A month after that, my brother, who hadn't said much since the engagement fell apart, sent me a photo. It was my niece, beaming, helping her grandpa make a video call to his sister in Idaho. "Your program's a hit," he texted. "Guess we owe you one." Small things. Gentle shifts. But they meant more than applause ever could. I didn't need their approval anymore. Not because I had stopped loving them, but because I finally started loving me. The woman I became through loss, through silence, through rebuilding. She was no longer chasing a timeline or an old version of happiness. She was living with both hands open, offering something that mattered. I didn't walk away from the past to prove I could. I walked into my future because it was already waiting for me. It wasn't pride. It was peace. If you've ever felt discarded, like your silence was easier for others to accept than your voice, then this story was for you. Maybe your version looks different. Maybe it's not a broken engagement or a best friend's betrayal. Maybe it's quiet disappointment, being overlooked, starting over when no one claps for you. But here's what I've learned. The world doesn't always notice when you rise, but someone always feels it. And that someone might be the person whose life you've unknowingly touched. It might be the future you're quietly building. It might even be you. So, wherever you're watching from, tell me your story. Let's make this space a home for quiet victories, honest beginnings, and second chances. Because those are the stories that truly matter. Thank you for being here. And if no one's told you today, I see you. And I'm glad you're still trying. More real stories are coming. Until then, stay kind, stay true,
And keep going.